All right, everyone, welcome back. A new study shows the number of children in the U.S. who have died from opioid overdoses has increased significantly. That study published in the journal Pediatrics. Joining us now live to break it all down for us is Christy Edelin with the Oklahoma Center for Poison and Drug Information. Christy, good morning to you, and thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you here. Let's talk about this study here. I kind of just want to get these numbers out there. The study finds that the highest number of deadly poisonings from opioids in children under 5. Kind of just break down what researchers found in this particular study.
So in this particular study, it was looking at national data from 2005 to 2018, and they found that 47% of childhood fatalities were actually related to opioids and opioid deaths. So obviously a very staggering number. That's really what the study highlights. But then also from 2005 to 2018, they went up significantly. So from 24% in 2005 up to 54% in 2018. So they really saw a steady increase in those numbers over those years.
The researchers behind this study, what do they believe is behind the increase?
So obviously availability. So anytime you have something in your homes available to children, children are always going to find it, regardless of how all your best efforts, always trying to keep those things up and out of reach of kiddos. So availability, a big thing, and then prescribing. So of course, over the last 5 years, we've seen a big crackdown in prescribing and dispensing of those medications. And so the hopes is that by cracking down on that we would actually see a decrease in those fatalities.
Okay, yeah, because those numbers are concerning, so I'm
Absolutely.
sure, you know, parents' ears are perking up and listening to this. Now, this is a national study.
Right.
I kind of want to get into more of what those statistics look like here in Oklahoma.
Absolutely. So looking more recently in Oklahoma, we actually are doing much better. And so since 2018 until last year, 2022, we've actually seen a steady decrease here in Oklahoma. So in 2018, we had 149 cases called into the Poison Center, and last year we only had 81. So we're actually seeing that decrease pretty significantly.
Oh, that is good news. Any kind of idea or insight into why Oklahoma is doing so much better, how we've gotten those numbers to go down?
Well, I would love to say that we're keeping medications up and out of reach of kiddos. So that may be one aspect, but then again, back to the prescribing and dispensing of these medications. Since there's been a big crackdown on that, again, a lot less available in homes.
Okay, so as we talk about wanting to keep kids safe, and we don't want this to happen, one of the good things from the study is that they found a lot of these deaths were accidental.
Yes.
So that's good. We want to make sure that we prevent it from happening. What can parents do? What can we all do to keep these dangerous medications away from children?
One of the big things is container transfer. So people will take medications out of that child safety container and they'll put it into a medication box or something like that where it's easily accessible to kiddos. They'll leave it down in access to kids rather than keeping it up in a locked box. So again, just keeping those medications up and out of reach of kiddos is going to be the biggest thing that's going to help prevent these exposures.
So what should someone do if they have some of these medications? Maybe they're unused, they don't need them anymore. How do they dispose of them properly and get them out of the house?
Most of your police departments and sheriff's departments around the state actually have a take back program. So you can take them to your local police departments, your sheriff departments, and turn those in. They actually have boxes where you can dispose of them. And then around the state, we will have take back days. And so just keep your eyes and ears peeled for those because those are days where we have locations across the state where we can take back those medications and you can safely dispose of them.
And finally, before we go, if a child does happen to get their hands on some of these opioids or any dangerous medications, what is the first thing a parent should do?
Always call the Poison Center. So we have pharmacists and nurses available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we are specialized and trained in this area. And so give us a call. Obviously, if a child is ever unconscious, not breathing, having a seizure, anything like that, that's an automatic call to 911. But if you have any other questions about whether you should go to the emergency department or things like that, our pharmacists or nurses are available 24 hours a day, 1-800-222-1222.
Okay, a lot of really good information here. Christy, thank you so much for coming in and breaking this down for us and giving us all those tips to keep our kids safe. We appreciate you.
Thank you.